Hey guys, we are wrapping up the final set of PowerCon exclusives today for Club Grayskull from Super7. We are, of course, talking about the Dree Elle and Uncle Montork figures. So this is a weird two-pack. This is one that I didn't really expect we were ever going to get personally. But we've got them here in the brown mailer box. We've got the logo, the character name, and then again, like the other sets, we have got the PowerCon exclusive logo on the back. Inside of this box, of course, we do have that standard Club Grayskull slipcover with the jaw bridge, and then the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe logo on the backside. And then, of course, we have got our figures showcased in that huge window inside the packaging with the jaw bridge open, and then we've got some Filmation style artwork as well as two bios, one for each figure on the back of the packaging. So let's pull these two out and take a look. Alright guys, here we go. We've got our Trollan 2-pack out of the box. We've got our Dree Elle and our Uncle Montork figures here. And I was pretty happy to get a hold of these guys because I've been looking forward to more Trollans for quite a while. That said, these are not perfect figures, but I am pretty happy with them. So let's take a look real quick at Articulation. We're going to use Dree Elle as our test subject, just see how these guys move around a bit. So as far as moving these guys around, there's obviously not going to be a great deal of articulation here. These are basically updated Orko figures and changed Orko figures. So if you're familiar with him, you get a pretty good idea of how these move. So the heads are on a massive ball peg. So they go up and down a little bit and then side to side. Arms go out, they rotate. We have got an elbow swivel, an elbow hinge, and then we've got a rotation at the wrist. The figures are pegged onto a stand with the ball peg, and so of course you can move them around all the way around that way. The stands are their own little point of contention, but they do function kind of as expected. So yeah, they don't move around a great deal, but you can put a little life into them with their movements, and they aren't under articulated. They're just smaller figures that have articulation that fits with the Motu Classic scheme. Now, as far as the overall look and feel on these guys, I'm pretty happy with them. I like the Orko figure, so I already kind of knew what to expect going into this. They are very, very similar to Orko. They do have their differences, obviously. So Dree Elle's got a different color for her tunic. She's got the veil. She's got her hair that pokes out of the hood, and she has a different sculpted hood as well. Uncle Montork also has a different type of ears from Orko, so they're different. He, of course, has his square glasses with his little pupils on there, and he's got his mask with his big bushy beard popping out. They do, of course, have the same style of spellcasting hand that Orko has, so that's very much a similarity. And then their overall body structure is basically the same. What I find interesting about these two figures is that this is a Club Grayskull release, but these are a little more detailed in some ways than our typical Filmation style release. Dree Elle's hair is a good example. Usually they don't have that kind of shading and dry brushing in the hair, so they do have that. But at the same time, their scepters, which are very similar to Orko's scepter, they are less detailed. They have a more simplistic sculpt, and they don't have as much embellishment in the paint department. They're very much the same kind of thing with the initial on the top, the ribbing that runs down the side, but they're not exactly the same. So they're similar, but different. Beyond that, though, I mean, they're very, very nice figures. I like them. This is exactly what I wanted to get out of a couple Trollans, and I think they very much look the part. They just kind of straddle the line between Filmation and classics for me in some ways, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just something to point out. Now, the big issue with these figures is, of course, the flight stands, and if you're in any capacity aware of them, you'll know that they are indeed different from this guy. So we've got our Orko figure here just for comparison's sake, and you can see that his stand is not at all the same. He's got a smaller base, he's got a clear stand, and then the inner workings of Orko are actually different. He's got an actual support system inside of him for his stand so that he stands up a little better. These guys, there's just a hole in their body. And of course the stands are silver, which is an odd thing for a flight stand for sure. It doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, it's like I would have loved to have some consistency here. Beyond that, though, there is, of course, the known issue that it is very much difficult to get these stands in the figures' bodies. They even came, as far as my figures were concerned, because I got them in the mail, they even came with an instruction sheet that informed me that I needed to heat them up. And I always find that to be a bit of a point of contention because I shouldn't have to do that. They should be designed to have those stands put in correctly the first time and to be removable. So that said, I did attempt to put them in cold. Do not do that. Do not try, I would say. Unless you're feeling really lucky, don't do it. I used a hairdryer on mine to heat them up, and it just pops right in, and they do come right back out if you heat them up as well. So, just keep that in mind. I wouldn't go pushing them in and out. They do look good when they're on their stands, and they're very much, Orko-ish. They just aren't exactly the same, which is kind of bothersome. So all things said and done, I'm pretty happy with this set of figures. You know, if you were interested in getting more Trollans, then this is right up your alley, and I definitely was. If not, it might have been an easy pass. But I'm happy with them. I think they look good. They go well with Orko. That said, there are some definite not so good things in this set as well, mostly surrounding the flight stands and the difficulty getting them inserted into the figures, not to mention the fact that they, of course, look different from the one that Orko has, which is still a bit of an oddity, to say the least. But overall, I'm happy with them, and, you know, it's nice to get more Trollans, and that's really all I wanted out of them, and they delivered. So that's going to do it for this look at the PowerCon exclusive Dree Elle and Uncle Montork 2-pack from Super7. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.